Life is rough, but I'm so fortunate to have met you. Biofriend account, on EU3. Summary. Yamada Hizashi is a dog person. Shouta Aizawa is not. Shouta Aizawa is, however, irrevocably in love with Yamada Hizashi. This, in turn, is how Shouta Aizawa and Hisashi Yamada happened across adopting a one-neglected Midoriya Izuku. A neighbor AU, where little baby Izuku walks Hisashi and Shota's dog and subsequently gets adopted. Episode 1, Chapter 1, Mr. Hisashi and Mr. Shouta. Aizawa Shouta was very much so not a dog person. That being said, his husband, Yamada Hizashi, very much was. It had started out as a teasing argument. Hisashi would mention wanting to get a puppy, and Shouta would remind him that puppies were a lot of work. Hisashi would show Shouta images of adorable dogs at their nearby animal shelter, and Shouta would remind him that they already had 2 cats. Hisashi would beg and whine and plead, and Shouta would roll his eyes and put his foot down. It wasn't until later that Shouta realized that, no, Hisashi wasn't just teasing. It was on a late patrol one night that Shouta decided, after much debate with himself, that his husband deserved the happiness a dog would bring him. Shouta himself, after all, was very content with both of their stray alley cats he dragged home from work. Besides, a puppy couldn't be that much to handle, not like an actual child or something. And so, on their mutual day off, a rare occasion that happened only once or twice per month, Shouta told Hisashi to get in the car. "Where are we going?" his husband asked, jumping around in his seat like an excited child. It took everything Shouta had to keep the smirk off his face. "It's a surprise, Sashi." "But you hate surprises." "Yeah, but you like them." Hisashi was already beaming, and they weren't even at the shelter yet. When Shouta pulled the car into the shelter's parking lot, Hisashi very nearly bursted into tears. He had thrown his arms around Shota's neck, hugging his husband tightly and peppering his face with kisses, before throwing himself out the car and into the front doors of the shelter, dragging poor Shouta behind him. "We're here to see the puppies." Hisashi curled at the teenager at the desk, and it was only Shota's quirk that kept his voice at a manageable level. In the end, they hadn't gotten a puppy. Mr. Teddy Bear, or Teddy, as Hisashi had dubbed him, weighed in a 60 pounds. He was a mutt with a shaggy fur that stuck up in all different directions, giving him a fluffed-up appearance. The worker told the couple that Teddy had been abandoned by his owners when he grew too large for their daughter to play with. After hearing that the dog was only a year old, and would possibly grow even larger, Shouta decided that Teddy was not the dog for them, or their 2-bedroom apartment. It was obvious that Hisashi had fallen head over ears, though, and Shouta bit back a sigh as he paid the adoption fee. At least his husband was happy. And besides, Teddy couldn't be that bad, right? Teddy was that bad. "Are you kidding me, you mutt?" Shouta huffed out as he pulled his destroyed shoe off of Teddy's bed. "This is the 3rd one, you hear me? Spork and Bastard never destroyed shoes." Hisashi frowned, looking put out. "Yeah, they only destroy your body." "They've gotten better about mauling Sashi." Ignoring the comment, Hisashi looked up from his laptop and said, "All the websites are saying he's just energetic. We need to take him out on walks more, or maybe to a dog park. He could at least use some fresh air to play fetch for a while." Shouta should have expected that a dog would be more work than they could handle. Hell, Hisashi had 3 jobs, and Shouta was about to take on a second. Why had Shouta thought adopting a dog was a good idea? But then, Shouta saw how Hisashi looked at Teddy. He saw how the dog curled up next to Hisashi when his husband was anxious, or how Teddy licked Hisashi's tears away during their traditional sad movie nights. And in turn, Shouta saw how Teddy looked at Hisashi, the human who had saved him, like he hung the moon and stars. But none of that took away the fact that they were busy as hell. They have to divide up who walks Teddy, and Shouta would have to wake up early. Damn. Shouta let loose a heavy sigh, but before he could start speaking, there came a knock at their apartment door. He frowned. They weren't expecting any company. But then again, Nemuri had a bit of a habit of forgetting to tell them when she was coming over. When Shouta opened the door, he hadn't expected to see a 4-foot-nothing child standing there. The child had a messy dark curls on their head, and sheen green in the sunlight peering into the third-level porch. Their eyes, bright emeralds, looked unusual as they fidgeted with an envelope. Perhaps mislabeled mail? Maybe about 6 or 7 years old. The kid was tiny. It looks like a slight breeze could bowl them over. Or it seemed, showed a 60-some-odd-pound mutt of a dog. Teddy! Shouta exclaimed furiously as he watched the dog heave over the child, attacking their freckled face with kisses. The child shrieked happily, mirthful giggles falling from their mouths as they wiggled under the dog, seeming ticklish. It took a far bit of Shouta's strength to wrench Teddy away from the child, and by then, Hisashi had crossed over the door and was grinning sheepishly. "Sorry, kiddo," the blonde said, rubbing the back of his neck. "We're still training him. He's got a lot of energy." The child's green eyes lit up like the sun. Seriously, Shouta could feel the heat bouncing off them. "I could walk them for you," the child chirped, which wasn't a terrible idea. Teddy was 60-something pounds and still growing. This kid looked like they could hardly weigh even that much, all garly limbs and tiny stature. The only bit of baby fat Shouta could see on them was their round cheeks. Shouta opened his mouth to deny the child, right as his husband exclaimed, "That sounds wonderful, kiddo." The kid turned out to be their next-door neighbor, a one Midoriya Izuku. Izuku was 8 years old and in the 3rd grade, one of the youngest in his class. He lived with his father, Midoriya Hizashi, who Shouta had yet to find present at home and be able to introduce himself to. Izuku walked Teddy every day before he went to school and every day after he got home. Shouta had been worried it would be too much work for the child, getting dragged around by a dog that was quickly growing to be nearly twice his size. But Izuku had convinced the man otherwise. "I like walking Mr. Teddy," Izuku cheered. "He's fluffy and he doesn't mind me talking about hero theories with him." Hisashi had asked if Izuku had friends that he was missing out on spending time with, and the boy had flushed darkly and muttered to the floor that he didn't have any friends. Hisashi and Shouta had exchanged a look, but didn't press the issue. Izuku's school life wasn't much of a mystery, with how much the boy spent walking Teddy for them. Not to forget the fact that Izuku often came by with scraped knees and hands and dirts on his uniform, and would offhandedly mention missing homework to the 2 pro heroes. Shouta had tried to go next door to express their concerns to Mr. Midoriya. But, once again, the man wasn't home, which was almost every more concerning than the whole school thing. Just how often was Izuku left alone? Hisashi worried time and time again to his husband, which did nothing to help in Shota's own nerves. Finally, one night, about a month into Izuku's new job, Shouta snapped at his husband. "Sashi, we can only do so much, okay? We can let Izuku know he's welcome here anytime, but we can't baby or parent him." Hisashi had pouted, but relented. The next morning, when Izuku came over to pick up Teddy, Hisashi had reiterated Shota's first statement to the boy, albeit much more gently. "You know, Izuku, if anything's going on at school or home, you can talk to us, right? Our door is always open." Izuku had beamed, looking without a care in the world. "Thank you, Mr. Yamada, but I'm okay. Really." Hisashi glanced over at his husband, completely unconvinced, while Shouta continued about feeding Spork and Bastard their morning wet food. "Okay," Hisashi repeated hesitantly. "Okay." "Mr. Yamada!" Izuku chirped happily as he handed over an empty platter. "Thank you for the cookies. They were really good." "Oh, wow. You and your dad already finished them?" Hisashi laughed back, taking the platter and walking towards the kitchen. Izuku was hovering in the entryway, having never really gone past the line between the main hallway adjacent to the door and their living room before. You guys must have really enjoyed them then. I'm glad. Izuku seemed a bit hung up on the first statement, though, looking at the floor and pushing at the edge of the living room rug with his bright red shoes. I didn't really, share them. Izuku, Hisashi teasily chided. Did you keep these cookies all to yourself? How do you not have a stomach ache? I did a little, Izuku murmured. But it wasn't as bad when I was hungry. I rationed the cookies too. I promised I didn't eat them all in one day. But I needed a lunch to take to school, and we don't have anything at home that I could cook, and I. Izuku looked up and saw the shocked expression on Hisashi's face, his voice suddenly flattering. I don't. Shouta exited the bathroom, having heard the entire exchange, and glanced between his husband and small neighbor. Seeing that Hisashi was still slightly panicking, Shouta sighed and went to the crouch one knee in front of Izuku, bringing the boy to eye level. Izuku. Shouta spoke evenly, softly, less graceful than he usually did. Does your father buy groceries? Yeah, he does. He does, I promise. I just don't know how to cook with what he brings home. I can make rice and I can cook grilled cheese, but Dad doesn't bring that kind of stuff home a lot. Let me retaliate. Shouta said. Does your father feed you? Yes. Izuku huffed enthusiastically. Dad brings home chips and stuff and, his drinks and stuff, so I eat those most of the time. But he got upset last time. I ate a whole bag, so I just ate the cookies Mr. Yamada made this time. Why does Mr. Yamada's face look like that, Mr. Aizawa? Honestly, Shed was having a hard time keeping his own face level, but a quick look to his husband showed that Hisashi was hardly making an effort. The hero's face was bright red, his expression a mix of anger and distraught. While Izuku was looking at the floor, Shouta shot his husband a glare and signed for him to calm down. Hisashi did so, although only minutely. Izuku. Shouta began again, even softer than before. Please let us know if you're hungry, okay? I think Hisashi was going to make some katsudon for A bold-faced lie, but Shouta knew from previous conversation that katsudon was Izuku's favorite, so he'll make the trip to the market for dinner. So we'll send some home with you after school, okay? And for lunch, Izuku suddenly bristled, quickly ransacking their kitchen. Hisashi made a quick worth of some leftovers, and more than a few snacks, shoving them into his own lunch sack before racing into the hallway and handing said sack over to the little boy standing in the doorway. Please take this. Make sure to cook up some extra tonight, so we'll have some lunch for tomorrow too. And you have to tell me what foods you like so I can make more. Shota's eyes fell on Izuku once more, and he winced when he saw the child's radiant green eyes were filling with tears. Izuku sniffled, and just when Shouta thought the boy was going to reject Hisashi's lunchbox, the child took the sack with a damp, dismal smile. Thank you, Mr. Yamada, Izuku murmured, but I can't take all your food. Hisashi's face melted into a fond, sad smile. It's really nothing, kiddo. Please, I'd feel much better if you'd help us not let our extra food go to waste. Yeah? Izuku still looked hesitant, but seemed a bit more open to the idea when Shouta laid it out as being helpful. Okay, Mr. Yamada. Thank you very much. Hisashi reached forward to ruffle Izuku's hair, and the boys flinched didn't go unnoticed to either probe. Please, Izuku, call me Hisashi. Or Sashi. Either works. Okay, Mr. Sashi. Hisashi rolled his eyes, suddenly kicking at his husband's crouched form. And call this one Shouta, yeah? Mr. Shouta. Izuku nodded in agreement. Shouta snorted a bit, and Hisashi groaned. You're too polite, kiddo. Hisashi demoaned to the ceiling. You're so adorable. Izuku blushed deeply, and Shouta quickly went about gathering Teddy's harness and leash, handing them over to Izuku. We can hold on to your lunch until you get back. Just don't forget about it, okay, Izuku? Yes, sir, Mr. Shouta. When Izuku and Teddy left, Hisashi clung to his husband like a leech, fighting back tears and whispering, "Is he safe, Shouta?" Shouta couldn't answer. Okay, so I read this fic a while back. I read this fic about a year ago? I believe it's been a year and a half ago, right? I vaguely remember what happens, very vaguely, very minuscule. I know the basic things, but I know there's certain aspects where I kind of sort of forgot. So I am really excited to reread this. This was a really good fic. I really enjoyed it. So when I was looking at orphan account fics to do, I remembered this one, right? And I was like, oh my god, I love this one. Was it a year ago? I think it was a year ago. Was it a couple months ago? I don't know. I read this one a while back. Just know that, okay? My sense of time is fucked. But I do remember reading it, and I was so enthralled with it. I really, really loved it. It's not going to be like the other orphan accounts that I've done where it ends on a really weird note. I think this one ended where it was supposed to end. I think this was already completed work, a completed series, and the author just decided to orphan it, which happens, right? It happens. Also, I hope you like the thumbnail that I have for this, the little cutesy. I'm trying to do chibi art a bit more, right? Obviously the proportions are not good, the art isn't necessarily good, but it's not about being good, it's just about overall simplicity and cuteness. I hate how Hisashi's hair looks and how it turned out, and him overall, but again, it's simplistic. If I had to say out of all those characters who I think turned out the best, it will have to be Shouta. I did add mouths and eyebrows. That's how I'm gonna do their eyes. I might add it so that their eye color is actually their eye color instead of just being black. Again, I am experimenting with this type of art style, so it will change and evolve as we go on, but I hope to have that type of art in my thumbnails a lot more. I'm still not gonna completely abandon my other art style, which I like to just classify it as a very simplest, a very anime-esque art style. And then I have my rendered art style, which, that one, as fucking amazing and wonderful as those come out. I think one of my favorite pieces of mine is one of my OCs, but it's like fully rendered, and oh my fucking god. Or I think my favorite Izuku fan art that I have is, that I've ever made is this one that I haven't posted anywhere, but I made his hair, and I rendered his hair, and oh my fucking god, I loved how I rendered his hair. It was amazing. But his hair alone took 3 hours to render, so as much as I love that, or as much as I love my regular art style, that is really good in certain ways, I guess, certain aspects. I don't absolutely love it, but I don't absolutely hate it. That takes some time, and this cutesy art style is just that. It's cutesy. I'm not worrying about proportions. I'm not worrying about how it looks. Like, for example, where the fuck did Hisashi's arm go? I don't know. I'm not worried about shit like that. I'm just putting down, you know, stuff like that. Like, for example, what the fuck is happening on with Izuku's hair there? I think I was thinking of having having Hisashi be like on Izuku's hair, but then like as I was drawing, I kind of forgot that I was doing that. Line art, I mean. But whatever. Oh shit. The point is, I'm not fully thinking about the logistics of stuff. I'm just drawing. And yeah, so there's gonna be really funny mistakes like that. Or the fact that Hisashi's shoulder, or not his shoulder, but the sleeve of his arm, the sleeve of his shirt arm is like super huge, but his arm is so small. Stuff like that, where it's like, I'm not really looking at proportions. I'm not really looking at stuff like that. I'm just putting down. I think this was the only thing. Oh, also, I forgot to put the coffee or the chocolate in the mug. That's my bad. That's my bad. Or don't even look at the hands. I'm tired, okay? I'm not gonna draw fucking hands. Half the time, the reason why I spend so goddamn long is the hands. You know how hard hands are to draw? You know, I hate hands, okay? They always turn out weird. I always hate how my hands look like. Like, hands are my mortal enemies. I think eyes are where I'm really good at. I'm somewhat okay with hair. I'm not really good with hair. I'm good at drawing faces. I'm good at drawing, basic stuff like that. What I'm not good at drawing is hair. I'm not that great. I wouldn't say I'm bad. I'm really good with curly hair, I guess. I really hate drawing clothes sometimes. They'd be hard. And hands, but overall hands. Anyways, but this is a really cute fic. I hope you guys enjoy it. It is super cute. It is adorable. I hope you guys like it. I definitely love it. It is just amazing. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's amazing, and it's just chef's kiss. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. So I hope you guys love it. This is the first fic that I'm gonna do at the 2 p.m. slot since Kingston came into my life, and it's not a Kingston fic, and it is weird, but forever this will be orphaned. So I hope you guys like this new art style. I also hope that the reason why another reason why I'm doing that cutesy art style is I don't see any other podfickers using that type of art style. Wait, do other podfickers? No, yes, other podfickers do use art that they have created. I know one. Never mind. But, never seen this one, so that should be my staple, right? Apart from the whole, what's it called? Spotify looking ass thing. I don't know why I did Spotify looking things. I think it's because my first podfic I ever listened to was on Spotify. I don't know what past deck I was thinking about, but yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys really enjoy this fan fiction that is to come. As I said, it's really cutesy. It has some angsty moments, like some obviously it has some angsty moments. I mean, duh. It's a found family fic. You can't have a found family fic, or at least the beginnings of a found family, right? It's not an established found family. It's a found family coming to fruition, meaning there has to be some angst, because otherwise, how is it found family? You know, found family is supposed to be about you were angsty before, but you found your family now. You know, kind of situation. So it cannot be a non-established found family without angst, right? If it's like a found family coming together, yeah, there's gonna be angst. I mean, like, duh. What were you expecting? No angst? What the fuck? Who told you? Like that? Sorry, I took a second to smell my candle. I think it's time to retire it, but I don't want to retire it. But it has to be retired. You have to be retired, my love. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been, what, a week? I don't know. I need to time these when I get them. I really do. There you go. I threw it. It is done. There is nothing in this now. It is nothing. Okay. Alright. I think it's time to end this. As funny as this is, I think it's time to end this, whatever this is. Okay, so, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.